I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey friends, Brian Santos here, and this is Quarantine with the Stars here on AfterBuzz TV. Today I am joined by music's next superstar. This is Rhyan LaMarr. Ryan, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. How are you doing?
I am doing well. I'm super excited to get into this interview with you. So let's just jump right in. First off, how are you doing with everything that's kind of happening with the world right now?
You know, despite everything that's going on, in between the pandemic and just the injustices that we're witnessing, I woke up today. I'm talking to you. So, so far, so good.
That's good. I'm glad to hear it. So what are your thoughts on some of those injustices? What are your thoughts on the protests and how everything's kind of transpiring these days?
I'm a Black man. If you didn't realize, I've been living that nightmare my entire life. Every single time I see things on the news or I'm exposed to certain instances, it just brings me back to things that I've experienced in my life that I've seen. Every Black man I've seen in the news, I've been in that situation.
Yeah, for sure.
Literally been in that situation. So I am, unfortunately, I am conditioned to live through this, understand why it is, and continue to fight. I've been fighting my whole life. It's amazing to see people coming together. In my lifetime, I've never seen so many different cultures, ethnicities, and beliefs coming together to fight for one cause. So it's been refreshing to see other people join and stand on the front lines, just as opposed to when we saw, a couple months ago when our nurses and our doctors and our firefighters and our grocery store clerks and our mailmen and postmen got on the front lines together and started to do that. So through all this storm, through all this tragedy, there has been a silver lining, if you can say that.
I agree. I 100%. I'm so sorry for all the things that you've been through, and I appreciate you sharing your story and sharing how it's impacted you today. So I'm hoping that what's happening right now, we'll get some justice, we'll get something new and something better for everybody. What do you think is next? Like, what do you think should happen next? What do you think could happen next with all this happening?
Well, you know what? Protesting is done in different places. A lot of times you think of protest, you think of the visual, marching in the streets with the signs. That's one form of protesting. I am 100% for that. I don't condone the looting. I understand it, but I don't condone it. But you also have to educate yourself on why you're marching. Why are we fighting? What do you do once you have the attention? If I have a mic and I say, everybody look at me, what is my next comment? Are we educated enough to know that not only do we need to be voting for our next president, but we also need to be voting for the laws within the local communities, our judges, our judicial system, who's hiring these chiefs, so our mayors, our city councilmen, like that's how laws get changed. Putting people in those positions that understand equality, not just Black or brown, but also gender specific issues that are going on right now. So I think that is the next. It's putting people in the position to win, and as it relates to progress, simply put. So I think that's the next step. And I think we're starting to see that shift of people not only lifting their voices, but moving their feet.
I 100% agree. I see that throughout the country. I see, different, like you said, different cultures, different ethnicities, different orientations, different walks of life coming into these positions of power to make positive change in the future. So I absolutely love that. I thank you so much, Ryan, for sharing. We talked a little bit about the pandemic. So I want to know a little bit about that. What have you been doing these it's been 3 months now. I didn't even realize it's been 3 months, which is wild. What have you been doing these last 2 months to kind of just keep busy at home?
Thank God for staying progressive. We work in that rainy day mentality at my company, Red Gorilla. We work with the mindset of we're always working a year ahead. So even the products that we have coming out right now, we've been working on them since 2019, some even 2018. And we have projects coming out, that are coming out at the end of this year and the following. So we're always trying to work ahead of ourselves because I know what it feels like to always try to play catch up with yourself. And try to play catch up and be innovative. And to be innovative means you have to create and invent. So you have to create ideas and things and movements of certain items that aren't there. You have to create the space for them. So we've been busy. We've been staying busy. I'm a filmmaker. I'm an artist. I'm a musician. So I have a setup at my house. You know, honestly been shooting videos, but we have to be creative. You
Yes.
know, how do you shoot in a social distanced world?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then you also have to start thinking about how are you going, if you work in the entertainment industry, people still are going to, this is the best time to be a creator. And I'm not saying it, you know, this has nothing to do with everything's going on. However, this is going to separate the inventors and the creative minds between the people that have been bluffing. That, you
For
know,
sure.
you can't throw money at everything.
Definitely. I 100%
You know,
agree. You mentioned about, getting back into production with like kind of social distancing. And I know that here in LA, they're starting that. They allowed TV and film
yeah,
production to go back to resume. So we will see what happens with production companies
yeah,
across the country, how that's going to happen.
it's fun, to be honest, you know, because I'm being an independent filmmaker, cutting our teeth in Chicago and having to shoot, having to have our cinematographer also light and also, and also shoot, and having the director gaff and like all these things that I myself, I get spoiled too, but it actually like brings me back to my roots because we're starting production on a film in the next 45 days. We're just waiting on a couple of things to clear and we're shooting in LA. And so we're looking at the list and we're like, all right, I guess it's back to college,
Yes.
that college mentality. So it's a challenge, but it's a good challenge and we're up for it.
I love that. Let's switch gears a little bit and talk about your music. You mentioned it a little bit, but I want to know how it kind of started. Like, how did you find your love of music?
I've been doing music since I was in about fourth grade. I've always been a storyteller. My poems became music. I grew up listening to Michael Jackson and Dr. Dre's The Chronic and Quincy Jones and just artists that had unique voices, not only sonically, but also something to tell, and also like to collaborate with other unique voices. And so I just always just gravitated towards great stories. And then, of course, if you think of Michael Jackson, you can't not think about a music video. Like they're synonymous. You think of Missy Elliott, you think of a video. Busta Rhymes, he's so animated. So I just fell in love with music and the videos and just creating an experience. Because at the end of the day, when you listen to music, music invokes memories. That's an
Yes.
experience. Your favorite song, it's an experience. And I just love creating experiences and escapes for people. And music is my passion. Film is like my life, but music's always kind of been my passion.
I love that. Well, you have a recent release, A Perfect Mess, which is amazing. What's the story behind that?
My life has been a perfect mess. You know, when I first started this rocky life of mine, I was very ego driven. My principles were in the wrong places, and it became a mess. I lived in LA for 15 years, and I started at the top, fell horribly by my own means. I had to get out of the way of my own self. And God kind of blessed me with a third chance. That's what I'm saying, third chance.
Hmm.
And just kind of gave me, I found a lot of hope and perseverance in the fact that I could also now teach from my mess, and perfect mess has been my life. A perfect mess is literally what we see right now on the TV. Creating all the styles, which goes from hip hop to gospel to pop to R&B. It almost looks like a mess, but it's perfectly put together. And it's a beautiful creation that I'm proud of. And my team, Jabari Rayford and Ma G, that we, and Bishop Garnes, like we just really created a great project. So I'm proud of it. But my life is a perfect mess.
I love that. That's perfectly well put. Ryan, you've done such great things already in film and music, but I want to know what's next. Can we expect more film, more music from you when this is all over?
Well, first of all, we're still dropping visual content from A Perfect Mess. We'll be dropping something on Tuesday with a song called "Stay Down" with the Brat, Twista, and Social Club Misfits. And we'll be dropping this, and then we have a lot of more visual content coming from that video. Where that's you can stream right now on all social media, all streaming platforms right now. But we have more music, volume 2 of A Perfect Mess coming this winter. And then we're also doing the story of Sean Bell that we're shooting this winter as well. And we have a comedy coming out called North of the 10 that stars Don Benjamin, Daystorm Power, LaRoyce Hawkins from Chicago PD, Chris Patowski from a lot of movies.
Wow.
So we just have a lot of things that we got coming down the pipeline.
I love that so much. Ryan, it's been such a pleasure to talk to you. Where can your fans find you on social media to kind of keep up with what you're doing?
You can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Rhyan LaMarr. That's RHYAN LAMARR. And that's Lamar Ryan on Twitter. And look, keep your head up, everybody. God bless you. If you're looking for a lift up, go check out aPERFECTmess. Yeah, thank you for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for being here. It's been an absolute pleasure. Again, like Ryan said, everybody, make sure you go follow him on social media, stream all his music on most streaming platforms, and just keep your head up. You know, these are crazy times, and reach out to Ryan, reach out to us here at AfterBuzz. We're hoping to be some kind of light in these crazy times. So I'm your host, Bryant Santos. This is Quarantine with the Stars. You can catch me on all social platforms at The Bryant Santos, and we will see you all next time. Take care. Bye.
Thank you, man.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.